Hi Capricorn, thanks for tuning in. This is your reading for August 2019. We are well in Leo season at this point. So tune in with me while I'm shuffling. Please bring all of your presence to this reading. I want to make sure that you get the most out of your time here with me. So please set aside any other tasks that you may be doing so that you're not distracted from the messages that are coming through here for you. I would also recommend that you put some headphones in so that you can really focus on every word. While I'm shuffling, take a moment here please to check in with your higher self. Tune in, ask your higher self to check in with my higher self and create a feedback loop so that any messages that come through are tailored for you. Let's take a look. Ten of Wands reversed crossed by the King of Cups. Hangman reversed, World reversed. Eight of Cups, Seven of Swords reversed, the Empress, Two of Wands, Death reversed, Six of Wands, the Emperor, nice. Two of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and Eight of Pentacles. I love this spread. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. So first impressions of this spread, as I was putting the cards down, is that there is like successful energy here for you. There is a focus on physical well-being as well. There is also here a releasing energy with this Ten of Wands, Seven of Swords, and Death reversed. I feel like there's a release. This central axis across the reading from Eight of Cups to Seven of Swords, it feels to me like you are at a turning point here where you are actually finally feeling willing to let go of something, and it's a really big relief. Actually, it feels like a deep sigh of relief, and I'm very happy to feel this energy here, because I feel like for the Capricorn readings over the last few months, there's been a lot of weight on your shoulders, and that's evidence here with this Ten of Wands as well. You know, I feel like there's been a lot of this energy over the last few months here for the Capricorn people. And now seeing it here in reverse, this is telling me that you're actually at the point now where you are ready to let go of that burden that you've been carrying, or those troublesome thoughts, or that excessive workload, or whatever responsibilities and obligations that you may have been feeling towards other people, or towards family, or even if you're a single person and you don't have children, this could even be the kind of self-imposed workload that individuals feel they need to take on in order to find a successful path in life, or to achieve the kind of accolades or financial reward or personal sense of success that they want in life. Oftentimes there is a desire there to kind of take on more than you actually really need to. And in this spread here, I'm feeling that there is this desire to move more towards emotional contentment and satisfaction. And a sort of like with this Emperor here, it also feels like a type of embodiment of a certain kind of personal power and stability from within that is independent of the way other people see you. But it's also independent of, you know, financial reward, or how do I explain that? It's just more about your emotional well-being and happiness within, and contentedness, and less about what you think you should have achieved by whatever age, you know, or wherever you are in life. Okay, I kind of jumped right in there, and I just want to go back around the spread here and talk about each quadrant of the reading. There's a few major arcana cards here in your spread. There's quite a few. You have the World in reverse at the foundation, Hangman in reverse as the crowning card, Death in reverse in the hopes and fears position, Emperor in the outcome, and you also have the Empress. So there's an energy here of union for sure for some people. Although I don't necessarily see this as a relationship reading, but the Two of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, this is a relationship reading, and this could be describing like seeing the Empress and the Emperor here in the reading is also kind of this. It does sort of indicate that there is a kind of counterpart energy here around you. But I'm feeling that also this energy is describing you and a sort of kind of wholeness that you're coming to, with partly with this energy of like finally letting go of some really heavy stuff and some burdensome worries and some, you know, obligations and excessive workload and that kind of thing. There is a feeling that comes with this, that you are using this kind of energy that's here available to you to actually focus on the things that are really important. And that what I'm seeing here is that it's your emotional and physical well-being. I feel the Empress here is giving a lot of energy around your physical comfort and wellness, physical health, physicality in general. I feel like there's a reminder here that, or maybe this is speaking to the fact that you actually already have begun, or you've been focusing on that, your physical wellness. And then the Emperor here in the outcome position, it's also saying like your focus has been on coming to a place of, I'm hearing satisfaction. But just give me a second, because I have the energy, but I just need to find the right words to describe it. It's kind of an endurance. The way I'm feeling this energy is with the Emperor is like you may have been under a lot of pressure over the last few months. You may have been struggling a little bit with workload, with obligations, with even some emotional difficulties from, you know, I'm hearing depression. Some of you maybe have experiencing depression. But what I feel is here is that there's this energy of you kind of popping out. And it may not necessarily be completely over, but there is a feeling here of you kind of having come to a sort of understanding about, I'm hearing worthiness. But it's more this energy of like kind of finding this little space within you to kind of open up and find that pure essence of eternal, for want of sounding cheesy, oneness and connectedness and timelessness and this eternal presence that you've discovered within you, that's always been there, that you're kind of starting to tap into, that's giving you this feeling of, yeah, success in a way, because it's almost like you're starting to understand that regardless of the external circumstances and situations that you find yourself in, you are that whole, stable, eternal, wise, loving, compassionate being. And that energy is always there for you to tap into. And the more time that goes by and the more experiences you may endure that are either difficult or fun or pleasurable or challenging, no matter what, you're able to tap into that energy that's consistently there. And that's what I feel what the Emperor and Empress are saying here on one level. There is also the energy of these being people, but I feel like this is more partly in this reading describing the energy that you're tapping into, which is within you. But seeing the Empress paired here with the Eight of Pentacles, I would say that for some of you, there's also this energy of focusing on your craft, and that kind of, it is a little bit of a paradox, because on one hand, I was feeling here with this first part of the reading that there is this energy of having been overworking or taking on too many tasks, or feeling the responsibilities and obligations of needing to fulfill certain things for the purpose of other people's, you know, other people's needs that they want to get from you. But there's also there has also been perhaps your own drive towards like feeling the need for how to create your presence in the world in a way that is seen by others, that gives you a feeling of, you know, confidence and success. And maybe you went too hard with that and have been kind of working yourself too hard into the ground. And there's an understanding or a realization here that that's not sustainable, and that it's really important for you to find ways to tap into that energy of greater emotional contentedness and wellness and happiness and physical well-being as well. And finding the balance between, you know, your work life and your leisure time, and how to kind of, you know, balance those out in a way that does allow you to have expression in different ways through your life. But yeah, this Eight of Pentacles here is saying that perhaps there has been a little bit more focus on the kind of tasks that you enjoy, that let you express your creativity and your ingenuity and your innovation, but in a way that's it's kind of a humble energy of just like chipping away, working away, honing your skills, in private, but there is a purposefulness to it, you know. It's this is not just necessarily like this kind of working away, this kind of like loading over the tasks that you feel like you need to do. This is more choosing with integrity and intention the way you use your time, right? And that being a way which feeds and nurtures your well-being and your health and your physicality, right? But since we're on this Empress and Emperor conversation, I want to bring all these cards up at once because I feel like there is a connection here. So I just described how the Empress is paired there with the Eight of Pentacles, and it's talking about how you are kind of fine-tuning and honing your physical skills and your creative pursuits in private perhaps, but in ways that you will potentially bring out outwardly and publicly, that create this kind of successful accolades. And you know, with the Emperor as well, it's bringing this sort of feeling of power and I mean, I just heard glory, but you know, it's I feel this is a humble energy. This is a humble energy of like being consistent in your pursuits of creative expression or work, however that, you know, plays out for you. And there is that kind of I don't know, I feel for some of you, something's happened. There's a turning point which has happened over the last month perhaps, or in this current energy of time that we're looking at here, where you may have switched gears from pursuing activities and endeavors which they very well are passions of yours and things that you are very interested in and love to do. But somehow what I feel is here is that there has been a switch away from pursuing certain things in order to receive accolades and receive attention from others, and it's gone, and it's turned the corner now into this area where you do it for you. And because you do it for you, that's where that sense of wellness and wholeness comes in, and that's where that sense of reward and satisfaction comes from. But it's also ironically in that same moment where you do that, where you make that shift away from doing things for others versus doing things for you, that's actually when you get noticed and you get that the accolades and the eyes and the spotlight on you. It's a kind of ironic thing, but it actually really does work that way. But more importantly, the shift that's happening there is one which kind of brings you away from that need to get attention and energy from other people. And that is actually what this sort of troublesome energy there was. I was feeling where, you know, the overworking may be actually more of an overreaching for energy outside of you, rather than realizing that everything you need is within you, and the things that you pursue are entirely for your own pleasure and satisfaction, and success and reward comes from that feeling of challenging yourself in a healthy way, and it not being about financial reward or accolades or applause from other people. And it's just simply about the beauty of challenging yourself to kind of come out of your own comfort zone and pursue things that you love to do, that you're interested in, that you're passionate about, and undertaking that study time of like personal practice and quiet, meditative, persistent endeavor, purely for the sake of seeing what you can do, what you can actually uncover and master within. What else is here? This central axis of the reading is very interesting. You have the World in reverse through to the Hangman in reverse. What is this? It does feel connected somewhat to this energy I described earlier, where there's some letting go of an excessive workload. There's also a letting go of the need for people to see you in a certain way. That's something there as well. This World in reverse through to the Hangman in reverse. I'm hearing privacy. See if I can get anything else on that. I almost feel like that energy of that privacy that I just felt there with that has something to do with this perhaps next phase of what you're working on being something that you keep very quiet and you just pursue in your own space and your own time, and you don't necessarily feel a need to share publicly. I mean, for some of you, it could actually be a new relationship. For others of you, it's a new project. Either way. But I just realized you have 3 2s in your reading. So you have this 2 of Cups here, 2 of Wands here, and 2 of Pentacles here. I'll get to that in a second. But I feel that with this energy around privacy, there is something new, or something. It may not be brand new. It could be something that you have been working on. But there's a push I'm feeling with something that you've been doing that is evolving in a specific way. And in order for it to really get to the place that it needs to get to, you need to keep it really private and hidden and quiet, and just work on it in your own time and space, and really nurture it. Really nurture it, and resist the temptation to social media, and even telling friends about it. I feel there's something here that's really important about keeping something private and hidden and shrouded until it's really ready to be revealed, until you've really honed it. There's a refining process going on with something specific that you're working on that needs the time and space in quiet, in privacy, without eyes on it, to really evolve to the point that it can, before it's revealed. And again, for some of you, that's a creative project, that's some kind of thing you're working on. Could be a new business, could be a new you may be switching gears from, I don't know, you might start writing, for example. Just one example. But it's not necessarily the time now to reveal what you've been writing, right? It's that kind of a thing. It's like, wait until you've really actually developed this thing to the point where it's publishable, for example. But if this is a new relationship, and it could be, because you have this Empress and Emperor here, and I feel that this is a very, very compatible, very empowered alignment for those of you who this is a new relationship for. And I'm going to switch gears here now, because I'm seeing different messages here that are more in relation to that. If this is a new relationship we're talking about here, what's going on is that there is a very compatible counterpart alignment that's showing up here. One which has this sensation of 2 individuals who are very complete and whole and independent in their own space and in their own presence. And there is this kind of like very substantial, very sustainable energy of individuals who are successful in their own right, and the way they can kind of come together and meet each other in a very emotionally satisfying and also very intelligent alignment is also very mutually supportive of individuals. And it's not competitive. That's what feels really profound about this energy. It's not competitive. It's very aligned, it's very equal, it's very supportive, it's very mutually beneficial. And the other cards that I'm feeling here is speaking about like this closing out of a certain cycle of maybe there's been a repeating pattern with relationships. And again, if this is not a relationship reading for you and we're talking about work or something else, just, translate it as you need to. So there is a closing out of a cycle here, and there is a new energy opening up. And this closing cycle has to do with what I described earlier, where there's this release from burdensome expectations and obligations towards other people. So this relates to both what I described as far as work and practice and creative endeavors, but it also relates to the way you relate to other people in not just romantic relationships, but also any other kind of relationships, right? Look at these 2 cards. In the upright position, the character, which is you in both of these cases, is carrying this unnecessary workload. Unnecessary. Like you're taking on things that are not yours to take on. And seeing both of these cards in reverse in this reading is telling me that you have woken up to the notion that that's unsustainable and unnecessary. And you're changing your patterns here. You're changing your habits. And that's also what I feel this central axis here with the World to the Hangman is that it may not be completely complete yet. It may not be entirely closed out, this cycle. But you're at a critical point in this cycle where you realize and understand how much you've been putting energy into that type of dynamic with people and building this very well-worn path of almost dependency with people where you take on responsibilities that aren't yours in order to kind of make yourself connected to individuals in specific ways. And I feel like you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here, where you're about to understand how to and when to and why to release that kind of baggage, that kind of entrained engaging with people that is unhealthy and unsustainable, in order to generate new types of relationships into a new era of your interacting with the world and with life in ways that is much more whole and complete and liberated and independent as well as interdependent, and will enable you to have a kind of higher octave level of relating with people that is free from a lot of entanglement and lower level dependencies, and it will enable you to create much greater and exponentially empowered and powerful and creative things in life in general. Okay, it's big energy actually. We'll get to the bottom of the deck in a second, but I haven't really covered this part of the reading yet. We're at 20 minutes already. So these two twos here in their spread, and then the Two of Cups at the bottom. And then there's Death here and Knight of Wands. Mainly I feel like the energy of the twos here is this realization that you're at this point here where you've actually become aware of what you have been doing, the way you have been, you know, sending energy out into the universe, and how it's been coming back to you. And in this awakening and this awareness to how that kind of muddled energy, which may have been coming from a place of a need to be seen by others, a need to be needed, a need to be loved in a certain way, coming from a place of wanting to care for others, most certainly. But there is this realization here now that it's time to end that cycle, and that's what I feel these two of Pentacles with the Death card and this Two of Wands with the Knight of Wands. It's like you realize that it's time to become woke to that which you have been, you know, pursuing in your relationship energy patterns, and understand that a higher level of relating is becoming available to you through your awareness about how you have been unconsciously relating to other people in terms of creating dynamic patterns of need and want and dependency. So you're becoming aware of that need for freedom in your relationships, where giving is giving and receiving is receiving, and there's no owing, there's no obligation, there's no dependency. There's a free will. There's a free will in your giving and receiving that is unentangled and doesn't accrue any additional karma. It's just clean energy, and it allows for a kind of opening and a blossoming, which you will start to understand soon through practice. It will feel like a revelation, and it is, because you may not have experienced that type of reciprocity before, which is unentangled, uninhibited, unfettered, without obligation, without entanglement, without owing or accruing debt, right? Giving freely, with vitality, with passion, with just generously offering that which is yours to give. And in the same time, like, the reciprocity part of this is really important here. I don't want to understate that. I don't want this to feel like just you're giving all the time, because that's kind of what you have been doing in the past, actually. And I feel like this World in reverse with the Hangman here is a really important message on that specific topic around reciprocity. I feel that there is, and again, there's this symbol here with this on the wreath here. I don't know if you can see this red banner, this red ribbon. It is speaking to the same thing of this reciprocity here with this infinity symbol. And what I feel is saying here is that you really need to learn how to receive. You really need to learn how to receive. You need to practice receiving. And it's very humbling at first. It can feel very difficult. It can make you feel uncomfortable. It can make you feel awkward. It can make you feel shy. And it can make you realize that there are places within you that you don't feel worthy. But you have to do it. You have to receive. You must accept help when it comes to you. You must accept people supporting you. You must accept. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Cups. Temperance, which is actually another 2 there with the 2 cups. 9 of Wands reverse and the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So this is telling me, again, this is kind of a summary of what we just spoke about there. So reciprocity is important. Reciprocity, reciprocity, and more reciprocity. Be willing to receive. It's easy to give. It's really easy to give. It's much harder to receive, but you need to learn how to do both in order for you to successfully move forward in your development and have more highly evolved relationships that have the chance to actually have a long-term expression, because you don't burn out on people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Be open to receive. Practice receiving. Practice accepting. Now this 9 of Wands reversed with the Queen of Pentacles is again, it's telling me this is a nod to this axis here where I spoke about a cycle closing out, but there being some like little, this is more of this letting go energy, right? This 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands all kind of belong together. Along with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is telling me what I just described there, where you may not feel worthy still, right? Like there may be moments that you come up against in the next little while here where you're going to start to feel this energy where you're meeting people that are actually in this energy already, and they may be trying to give you energy, they may be trying to support you, and you may find it a little bit challenging to accept and let that energy in. But I'm telling you, you must do it. You must accept. You must find the humility and the willingness to let that energy in, because it's going to transform. It's transformative energy with the Death card. It's the closing out of an old cycle of ways of doing things, and it's ushering you into a new era of your life where things are going to feel so different. You need to let that in. Okay, that's the general reading. I'm going to close it there. I feel like that we've covered everything here. Be willing to change your habits. That's what's important here. Be willing to change your habits. Overcome. That's also what this Hangman in reverse is actually. Now I realize. The Hangman in reverse is that kind of overly generous but unwilling to receive person. It's a little bit of a martyr energy. And this is what you need to overcome. This is what you need to break free of and realize that you've been practicing a little bit of this like martyrdom energy, and overcome your need to only give and be seen by others a certain way as like a very generous person, but understand the need for reciprocity and the end to a cycle where you can only let energy flow one way. Allow energy to be received by you in humble gratitude, and this old cycle is gonna pretty quickly, I feel, shift. Just be willing to practice. Be aware when these moments arise in the next days, weeks, months, where people try to share and be generous towards you and offer you things and show you love and compassion. And notice if you try to stop them. Notice that. And take a moment, like breathe deeply and realize what you're doing. Become aware, become lucid in that moment, and acknowledge that you've been blocking energy from coming towards you. And shift it right there in that moment. Just become aware of it and shift it and receive and accept and offer gratitude. Everything's shifting. Your life is shifting in a big way here. This is a big reading, Capricorn. Okay. So I'm going to take the Voyager deck now. That was already 30 minutes for the general reading here, so I hope this doesn't go too long. I hope you have time to sit through this reading, because I feel like it's really important, really valuable, much needed message for Capricorn right now. Because I feel like a lot of you are at a turning point here where the old is kind of crumbling away. And if you don't remain lucid to what's happening, you could easily kind of start interacting with people again who are familiar in an energetic imprint kind of a way. And you could just fall back into old patterns and do the same thing again and again. But there is new energy around, but it's going to take your utter lucidity to become aware and recognize when things are happening in a certain way, when that energy is coming towards you. And catch yourself in those moments where you might react in the way you used to. And form new imprints of patterns, of ways of behaving and activating and engaging with people that's new and different. You're evolving. So stop doing things the old way. Stop doing things the way you used to. This is time for forging new paths ahead. Okay, so the higher octave here, if you're new here, this is going to give a little bit more insight into what's happening on a karmic and spiritual level. Will hopefully help us understand what energies are, forces are at play, and how to work with them to get the most out of the situation, the opportunities that are being presented to us. So tune in while I shuffle, and please send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. Okay, 8 of Worlds at the bottom of the deck. So this is the same card here. You've got some 8s in the reading. 9s and 10s, 7s, 6s. Yeah. Okay, Ace of Worlds at the heart of the reading, crossed by 6 of Worlds. Priestess, the Moon. Okay. Emperor here. Devil's Play. 10 of Worlds. 9 of Crystals. 6 of Crystals. 5 of Cups. Magician. Hermit. 9 of Worlds. And Ace of Cups. Wow, cool. Really beautiful. So a lot of earth energy, a lot of pentacles here. My first impression as I put this down is that from the first reading to this reading, I feel like you can understand. I think you understood very well what I described in that first reading. This is kind of telling me that in the moment of you hearing those messages, I could feel your fears coming up. I could feel your... how do I describe that? Like this energy became a bit more apparent, like that feeling of being aware that you may have been blocking energy from coming towards you. You may have been reluctant to allow people to support you and care for you because you want to be that caretaker, you want to be that support person. Even though you actually do want people to care and support you, that feeling there of unworthiness is kicking up. And I just want you to be aware as you're listening to this reading, and as those moments come up where you do experience that it's only because you're aware of that energy that you're able to change it. And you're becoming aware of that energy because you are ready to change that. You are ready to overcome that. You've been working really hard on cultivating self-love and self-compassion and self-understanding, and you've been healing. You're healed. You know, I want people to understand that healing is not a process that you have to keep going through forever, and when you get to the end of it, then you can have a good life. It's not what it is. Healing is forever, you know. It's not a process that ends at some point. You do have to keep dealing with life. Healing is just like growing and understanding and becoming more aware and more conscious. But there is definitely a specific availability here for you to become aware of a pattern that has been long outgrown. You know, this energy of being a one-sided situation where you're the person that cares and gives and takes care of and works hard, and you know, like, you need to let that energy in. You need to let people support and help you. You need to become aware of how valuable and valued you are, and how worthy you are. Now you've got another 2 here. So the two from the major arcana, you have Priestess here and the Moon. So this central axis is really interesting. And what I feel with this energy here, with the Moon and the Priestess, there is that kind of like stark, a little bit, like the energy that you're feeling now is this awareness that is coming through as a result of this reading, where you may have, the light bulbs may be going off, and you're understanding that how you may have pushed energy away, or how you may have been perpetuating perhaps unhealthy relationships with people because you've been one way with the energy and you haven't been receiving. And so there's this energy here from the Moon to the Priestess, where you may be becoming aware of like that energy that's coming up from the unconscious, from your subconscious mind into your conscious awareness, and it's here for you to understand wisdom and grow through it. Okay, Ace of Worlds crossed by the Six of Worlds at the center of the reading. Again, this is like, it's describing very clearly what I've been saying this whole time. This is the opportunity or the potential for you to have a new way of operating in the physical world, one which is much more focused on reciprocity and less about you doing and giving all the time. It's a pretty major shift. I'm saying it pretty casually here, but this is, I said in the first reading, this is a really big reading for you guys. I want you to watch this again because there's a lot here. Now, what else we've got here? And again, there was a lot of Pentacles energy in this reading. I feel like this is very much about the way you embody your physical being in the world and how you interact with other people and the way you manifest in the physical world, the way your work is issued through you and how it's received by others and how that feedback loop. Again, this is all about reciprocity. It's really about reciprocity. It really is about giving and receiving. 10 of Worlds with Ace of Cups, 9 of Crystals with 9 of Worlds. Interesting. Again, there's this energy described here where I feel that similar to this Queen of Pentacles, but it's more the need for getting it in this upright position where the work is really about cultivating and embodying more of confidence and self-value, self-worth and self-love in order to be very aware and conscious and lucid of this energy so that you can be in that position of receiving. And you will start to understand as you start to practice this that the more you are actually allowing to be received by you, the more you're able to give. So it's actually, and that need not be the motivation for you to do this. It's not about being able to give more actually. It's just about having a harmonious and balanced and equanimous flow of energy between you and the universe, okay? 6 of Crystals with the Hermit here, and 5 of Cups with the Magician. So this energy, how I'm feeling is, again, there's this need for a type of independence in life. You know, I feel like there was being described there a lot of dependency perhaps in your relationship. The type of dependency which is founded on, you know, what you can do for other people and how you can win their love and affection as a result of how you can care for them or how you can give to them or what you can do for them. And here it's saying there is a need to overcome and become aware of that which has maybe been unconscious until now, and finding ways to resolve through inner study and become aware of the need to shift that and be receptive to love and being able to be receptive to love by being able to cultivate and develop and embody self-love and self-confidence and self-worth. That will enable you to kind of move away from the past and move forward, as I've said, into a new era of your life where all your relationships can be completely different. You can have healthy relationships which have the capacity for long and successful expression because you don't burn out on people, right? And that's something very much to look forward to. And these final outcome cards, 5 of Cups here with the Magician, is very interesting. I feel that what this is speaking to is the need perhaps to overcome any like loss or grief or to resolve, you know, maybe there's some guilt or remorse here with this energy about how relationships that you may have given a lot of energy to didn't work out. And the Magician is saying here, just let those energies be. I'm hearing bygones be bygones, and just let the energy of those experiences feed you with knowledge and wisdom and understanding for how you can channel forward your energy into relationships in the now that actually empower and enable you to feel a greater sense of wholeness which you may not have necessarily experienced in past relationships. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. 8 of Worlds reversed, Ace of Wands, 7 of Wands, and Child of Cups. So another ace here. So I feel like we've got the Magician, Ace of Worlds, Ace of Cups, and now Ace of Wands. So definitely energy being provided here which is representative of potential for new beginnings, new activations, new relationships. Most importantly though, new patterns of behavior. This is like a cycle beginning where you become aware enough to actually break that unconscious pattern that you may have been ingrained in and start to practice new ways of relating which actually enable you to have much more whole and loving relationships where you're actually being met. But again, as I said in the first reading, you had the World there in reverse with the Hangman. So I feel that for some of you, this is definitely a turning point. But I think it's going to require a lot of patience and a lot of practice and a lot of dedication. That's the 7 of Wands here. Courage to make the changes, to actually become very like moment by moment becoming aware of when you, like catching yourself in those moments where you would behave a certain way or say a certain way, say a certain thing in a specific moment, and realizing that that's an old way, that's out. This is a new moment, a new paradigm, a new era of behaving and relating, and becoming super lucid and very aware in those moments, and actually taking that moment, as I said, to kind of catch yourself in a moment of an awareness, take a deep breath, and be willing to do something that you haven't done before, to try a new way of being, or try a new way of saying things, or practice and invoke new ways of engaging and interacting with people that allows that reciprocity to really become a habit. It's a healthy habit. Life is habits. Some habits are not good and others are good, and we're about engaging in and practicing those healthy habits, and reciprocity is definitely one of them. I feel that's it for your reading. Let me just check over here, Capricorn. You have your own card here in the art composition. I didn't really touch on that. So we have Devil's Play here with the Magician. I do feel that this is like a final note in this reading to say, this is about you becoming more of your true self. But in doing so, there is this awareness here, or need to become very, like this is Saturn, right? You are ruled by Saturn. Devil is ruled by Saturn. And I think what this is speaking to is the type of discipline that you need in this growing awareness of what we're speaking about here, that you actually need to change your behavior. Okay, so I'm not seeing that, I don't see the Devil card as a negative card in this reading especially. I'm seeing this as a very strong and beneficial support system that's coming from your own archetype, actually, your own ability to work hard in things and in ways to kind of, and a type of endurance, a type of willingness to keep going. I feel like you're channeling this into yourself at this time and figuring out how to use that energy of Saturn, of discipline, of limitation, of practice, in a way that will help you grow and expand in magic and in your own, like utilizing your own alchemical patterns and projects here to figure out how to become bigger and better you. So you have Magician, Empress, and sorry, you have Magician, Priestess, and Empress in your reading. So 1, 2, 3, and Emperor twice. So there's a lot of this energy of beginnings at your disposal, right? Like starting new things, forming new habits, all those aces in the reading, you know. But at the same time, in the previous read, you also had like 8s, 9s, and 10s. So there is definitely like things that you need to be aware of simultaneously, of ways that are closing out, things that are changing, things that you're moving away from, and that which you're moving towards, which is yours to embody and embrace. I love this reading. Hope you can see these cards. I'll take some photos and use them for the thumbnail so you can really see these up close. Yeah. Time to really embody the true you, the real powerful, stately you. Okay, I feel like that's it for your reading. Closing this out now. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, don't forget to like and share and comment. It will really help me get shown up in front of other people who are watching similar content on YouTube. So I'm asking your support in helping me grow this channel. There's playlists on the screen now for all the Capricorn readings from months gone by. So if you're new here, check out those and see what we've been talking about the last couple of months. There's also the playlist for all the other signs for the August readings. Click on anything that you feel drawn to watch, because they're all really good, timeless wisdom and practical advice for life. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next reading.